All right. Come in. Come in. We want this to be intimate. So like anyone who's at the back, move in a little bit. Like there's room. Like I think this nice lady over here has room in her settee. That guy's floor is totally available. So keep coming into the front. We want us all to, okay, great. This feels good. Excellent. Good evening, everyone, and good day to those of you on the West Coast. Welcome to Uptown Showdown. To everyone on Zoom and those of you on YouTube, my name is Matthew Love. Thank you so much for being here, which is also there, because face it, you're kind of trapped. And if not in your house, you're trapped in your city or your state or the news cycle or your loveless hashtag van life Instagram partnership. And in this time, you've probably endured some of the most petty debates you've ever had. Well, tonight, we're going to take you away from all that because we're going to have a debate that's so petty, your family discussion about dogs and face masks will look like Lincoln Douglas. The wonderful thing about doing this digitally is that you can materialize in space from wherever you are. Maybe you don't live in New York. Maybe you've never been to our show or our home theater on Symphony Space. But if you've never seen the show, this is what it is. At Uptown Showdown, we pick a topic of undeniable historical significance: cats versus dogs, day versus night, big guns. And we bring on two teams of comics to debate head to head in a battle of wits and wills. The winner takes all, which in this case is nothing. The prize is very literally nothing other than feeling like intellectually, emotionally, and possibly sexually superior to your defeated opponents. But the other thing to note is that you've never seen the show. Our performers have basically written the show for this night. They don't have a type 5 on being a health nut, I assume. Maybe they do, but probably not. When you see these people. But this is why they go above and beyond for the show, which is why we love them. So if you see us checking our notes or reading on screen, yes, that is happening. But on the other hand, if you hear a performer talking shit, well, thankfully that requires no prior scripting. And today our topic is more than about just this moment. It's about COVID-20. And Matt, you mean COVID-19? No, I'm talking about COVID-20. It's the freshman 15 for grown-ass adults who since March have eaten nachos for breakfast every day. So that's our topic tonight: health nuts versus couch potatoes, diametrically opposed icons of fitness, diet, and consumption in general. It's like Puritanism versus hedonism, where Puritanism involves eating ancient grains excavated from Egyptian archaeological digs. And hedonism is like Burning Man. If Burning Man was just you at home and no tents and no sand, and you had a hand down your pants and the other hand was stuffing a Costco cheesecake in your mouth. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think during this time, there's so many of us who are trying very hard to do sit-ups, to rewatch The Sopranos, to like try to pretend to want to try to write King Lear. But unlike the rest of us, the debaters you will hear tonight are actually doing things. They are firmly on the road to heart attack or hypertension. They're losing weight or they're losing a foot to diabetes. And whatever happens tonight, whoever wins, we go with them. We're going to take our cues from them. From tonight on, it's burpees or slurpees and no in between. So however we vote, that's that. And before we meet our teams, I want to check in with you in the audience, because I want to see where your hearts and minds are at this very moment. So for everyone in the Zoom webinar, a little window is going to pop up, and it'll have a poll asking you whether in your soul you feel like health nuts or couch potatoes are the superior sort of being. Like you feel that innately. So if you're currently sucking hot Cheeto dust off your sweats, you're probably in the couch potato range. If you are holding a candlelight vigil because that CrossFit CEO ruined a perfectly good exercise cult, you're probably a health nut. So, and if you're watching on YouTube, we can still see you. So please vote in the comments. All right, so is the poll coming up? I can't see it. Is the poll happening? Maybe not. Well, look. Oh, wait, there it is. There's the poll. So here we go. Everything's being tabulated. It's right in their face. Oh my gosh, Chris Duffy, those props. I am loving them. All right, so it looks like we have right now. Oh, you're still. We got to take some time. We just got to carry on and think about other things while the people vote. It's a drum roll. Now, this is just preliminary. So preliminarily, let's go ahead and say the health nuts right now are succeeding quite a bit over the couch potatoes. There's our results. You see them. Health nuts are people in the audience right now. They really feel akin to those, and maybe it's aspirational. We don't really know. We have to guess what they mean. Either they are health nuts or they feel you very strongly, but they are on the health nut side thus far. Okay, so that's where you are now. Now let's meet the teams. So tonight we have assembled 6 of America's least essential workers from across the country. It is a truly special night for us because this is what's great for us is that, you know, on Zoom, we can invite our friends who live in LA now to come do the show, even though it happens in New York. So we get to see some of Showdown's sweetest and kindest, as well as some like bruising champs from across the way, which is delightful. So debating for Team Health Nuts, apparently the home team, according to our early poll. This gentleman has hosted many shows. He hosts You're the Expert. He was a writer on Wyatt Cenac's Problem Areas. He's a mensch. He has a body mass index of 9. It's Chris Duffy, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. What a pleasure to be here. I truly do not know if a body mass index of 9 is good or bad.
I think it's emaciated to the point of being dead, actually.
Okay, well, great. In that case, I hope that's not true.
No.
And I would also just like to say that this is one of my favorite shows in the world. I love doing it. I also have almost every single time been set up for failure and lost miserably because I have been assigned to a team where there was no chance of us winning. Once when we did these in person, I was on Team Kids versus Pets, and I was on Team Kids, and an actual child booed when we were announced. It was so clear that Pets would win from the first second. And I just want to say that I know that the poll just now said that Health Nuts were going to win, but we can all agree that that was some like September 2016 level polling where you all voted for one thing secretly and then you polled differently. There's just no chance that that's going to happen. So, you know, that's fine. I just want to acknowledge going into this. I just want to say that I understand that we are destined for failure. I understand that that is where we are starting from. Health Nuts have no chance of succeeding because let's face the facts. What are the demographics? Let's face the facts. What are the demographics of a show like this one? People who identify as couch potatoes and people who watch online comedy debates. That's entirely the audience of this show. You know where the Health Nuts are? They're not watching online comedy debate shows on Zoom. Health Nuts are out doing yoga on a stand-up paddleboard. That's him right there. That's what they're doing. Okay, so I understand we're probably going to lose. And despite that, I will still argue in favor of the Health Nuts because I believe we have an important side, a side that has to be argued for. Because for years, Health Nuts have been hated, but you want to be us. In fact, so much so that the couch potatoes have appropriated our culture. Couch potatoes have appropriated wearing athleisure. Those are our pants. You will give us our yoga pants back. The concept of a marathon. Philippides died. He ran from Marathon to Athens and he died. No one has ever died from watching all of Rick and Morty on the sofa. I'm sorry, that's not a marathon. And the word crunch. Okay, people, this is not crunch. This is a crunch. That's a crunch. Get it right. Now, I know you may be asking, why, Chris, are you arguing for Team Health Nuts? Historically, you have not been a health nut, and I will agree, I was assigned this team. Also, I did move to Los Angeles since the last Uptown Showdown, so I am legally obligated to argue for Team Health Nuts. I also, since I moved, a few other legal obligations. I did see Ed Helms unloading a Subaru Forester. I'm also legally obligated to have gone camping. While I went camping, I overheard a conversation with an Australian influencer. Until 1 a.m, she had a conversation, and the entirety of the conversation was about how it's less important to work hard than it is to be charming. And I'm so charming. I'm really good hang. And then, of course, live next door to a personal trainer. And I do. I live next door to a personal trainer. And I've many times during quarantine heard him on Zoom being trained by his own personal trainer, which makes me now understand that it is sort of a Russian nesting dolls of trainers, where they each have their own personal trainer. And of course, that is the entire economy of California. Now, I want to just say, Health Nuts, we have tried for years. We said it's not a battle. It's not us versus them. We tried to meet you halfway. We came up with the 7-minute workout. We tried to meet you more than halfway. This is a real article in the New York Times. We came up with the 4-second workout. But you know what? That wasn't enough for you people, because ultimately you cannot negotiate with terrorists. So here is another real headline. Here's how to fix that butt dent that you've molded into your couch. I hope you people are happy. Thank you for listening to this presentation and then ultimately voting against us. I'm Chris Duffy. Please be healthy.
Chris Duffy, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Duffy, I believe Chris Duffy is such a go-getter that I was simply introducing the teams and he leapt into his presentation.
Oh my God, did I do that?
He is,
wow.
he is a go-getter.
I am so sorry.
You know what?
I was like, this guy has a PowerPoint just for when they say his name.
Oh my God. This is why Zoom is not made for comedy. There's no sense of physical cues. I just think you say my name, I'm supposed to launch into the thing. Oh, I knew I was going to lose, but I didn't think I'd lose like this. Totally shamed.
Energy.
Publicly humiliated.
It's true, you had the energy.
Does he have to go back to his blocks?
Oh no.
I feel like Matthew raised the gun into the air and you just ran down the course. Half a mile.
I'm like the Olympic athlete where I'm the only, I disqualified myself, not even by losing, just by jumping too soon. Oh, I've ashamed my country. I'm so.
You know what?
Well,
I mean,
I'm glad this is live.
I think you're going to get some seriously endearing points for the costume. So
that's great. Thank you so much. I'll be back with another presentation in approximately 45 seconds.
So just to review the rules, the second I hear my name, I feverishly launch into a PowerPoint.
Now that was what I was told.
Right.
This is my impression of Chris right before the show.
I didn't even get to tell people here. I didn't even get to say the line, here's how the show works. So I could have thrown myself on the grenade, but Chris was, he had the energy, he had the momentum with him. I didn't want to,
He's healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Well, yeah.
Well, it's great that I have this towel because I'm sweating profusely.
Okay, so
no, please, Matthew, keep going. I knew you had more to say.
So now, I mean, maybe what I'll do is, we'll introduce the teammates one at a time when it's their time to appear. But in the meantime, in case the audience did not understand what just happened.
Impossible. That's impossible to even a preposterous scenario that the audience wouldn't understand what happened.
No, they got it. So we were going to kick off things with the debater from Health Nuts, which is Chris. He was going to have 4 minutes to convince you why Health Nuts were superior. If he went longer than 4 minutes, he was going to hear a sound, which is a bell that I've got over here. He didn't go overtime, so.
In fact, my time hadn't even begun.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess it was really we hadn't even gotten there yet. But that bell means it's time to start wrapping things up. We don't have a bell for if it's not time for you to do your presentation. So I'll have to for next time. We'll have to do that for next time. But once we hear from someone on the Health Nuts team, which was Chris, then we'll go back over to the Couch Potato team. So the next person we'll hear is Jared. I'm just going to say your name, so don't go yet.
Let me tell you what I think about being a couch potato. Start my presentation.
That's it. That was it. I cede my
Oh,
time.
wait, it's just my name. Okay, go ahead.
So we're gonna start with couch potatoes and Jared, and we'll go back and forth. It'll go health nuts, couch potatoes until we get to the anchor of the team, which is Kevin Allison for health nuts, Guy Branum for couch potatoes, and they will have 5 minutes to rebut all of the paltry arguments that have come before. And then once we've heard all the arguments, I mean, you've heard Chris's, that he feels set to lose already. But we're going to answer questions. So for those of you who are in the Zoom room, if you put your cursor over the bottom of the window, you'll see that there's a little Q&A box to the far right. So enter any questions you have into that Q&A box. You can use chat. We'll probably be on chat ourselves. So feel free to use the chat, but only questions in the Q&A box. And also if you're on YouTube, type questions into the comment area. Someone will be shuttling them over to me at the end. So, and then once we've heard all the arguments and answered all the questions, we're going to vote. And this time it's actually true democracy. We usually have an applause meter, it's sort of like Uptown Showdown's electoral college, where the people in power listen politely to what you think and then pick the winner anyway. But tonight, for the first time in your lives, maybe you are going to participate in an actual democratic decision. So the poll pops up, you'll vote again, and the winner is the winner, and that's it. So this is a fun note. I have one last thing. We do this show all the time, but it's our first Zoom. So, if we have interesting technical things happen, which we're almost bound to have, you stick with us. We've got people ironing out things behind the scenes, so sit tight. All right, so let's start the show. We're gonna do right to Team Couch Potatoes. They've got some ground to cover. Now, this gentleman has written and appeared on the Late Late Show with James Corden. He recently appeared in the movie Stuber. We love him, even though his flesh is fused to the chair he's sitting on. Please welcome Jared Logan.
So just to confirm, this is the time that I would start.
Yeah, I'm just going to do the intros. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do them one at
I also like that Matthew was like, people might not know how the show works, as if the people watching were just flipping through the channels and happened upon this. I think everybody that has come knows that a debate is about to take place. And so I will begin mine by asking a question. I am Team Couch Potato. And what I want to ask everybody is really about this current moment in history. Okay. What I want to ask was between these two teams, between the Health Nuts and the Couch Potatoes, who do you think was really prepared for a pandemic? Okay. Health Nuts, in retrospect, how wise was it to make daily trips to the gym a core component of your self-esteem? It feels like that might have been an oversight in retrospect, doesn't it? Are you going on a lot of jogs in New York City? All of you Uptown Showdown Health Nuts. New York City, the city where you could get sick from breathing someone's air before COVID-19. The city where that had happened to me. The city where you travel in airless tubes. How is being into the outdoors working for you during a stay-at-home order? I feel like it's probably not working very well. Meanwhile, we Couch Potatoes have been training for this our entire lives, okay? I am used to spending 8 hours watching television in one sitting. I binging food when I was 18 prepared me to binge television at 25. You are thinking of starting Stranger Things. I'm finishing Get Shorty on Epics. That's where I'm at. And that is what this current moment in history calls for. That's the kind of endurance that is expected of you. This is what surviving the apocalypse actually means. In the most unexpected, gravitic flip of the poles of irony, the most important thing to be able to do during the apocalypse is my favorite thing to do, which is nothing. I love to do absolutely nothing. So much so that when my wife suggests that we do anything, I get a little pissed off. I want you to look at Kevin Allison and then look at Guy Branum and tell me which one of these people looks like the emperor of a small post-apocalyptic city-state in a Mad Max movie. The answer is Guy Branum. Because he was ready for the apocalypse. And look, I understand, you don't want to be in pain. Being a couch potato is all about comfort. So I think that we can all agree now, in retrospect, that the life is about staying just fit enough that you don't get the painful type of diabetes, and no more fit than that. You want to stay just fit enough that no amputations are in your future. But beyond that, you're not running from saber-toothed tigers anymore. Your maximum survive. We were just talking about Instagram influencers, some of the richest, most popular people on earth, and their entire existence is just into a camera. Life no longer demands any sort of muscle tone, especially now. And so I encourage everybody to quit punishing themselves and flagellating themselves with the hair shirt that is aerobics. To give yourself a break. You don't have to be productive all the time. You don't have to have a beautiful body. I'm going to tell you right now, there is someone, the guy or the lady or whoever who's you're connecting with via online dating right now will come over and fuck you even if you're fat, and will enjoy it because everybody's been apart for a long while and you don't have to look good anymore. So what an opportunity for us all to just breathe out and enjoy Crackle, which we hadn't really gotten around to yet, but has a lot of great programming options. And, some might say I should have prepared more, but others might say stopping before the bell rings is an advantageous strategy. And so I stopped there. Thank you. I cede my time.
Jared Logan, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I don't know what it is, Jared. I think it's the microphone and the ranting and the hair. Like, you're giving me that sort of like second-rate Alex Jones, sad Alex Jones, if you were obsessed with like Doritos and Netflix.
Matthew, just to review, you just called me a sad Alex Jones.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you know if I can do any of these in the future. My schedule is filling up, but I'll see if I can find time on the calendar.
There aren't calendars anymore, so I know you're coming back.
Oh God, I have time.
Yes.
Thank you, Matthew.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go back to the Health Nuts team. Now, we had such an exciting start. It was like a wonderful premature ejaculation of glee. Now, she is rested and ready. Now, she has recently featured on Late Night with Stephen Colbert and co-host the podcast Were You Raised by Wolves? She's a New York stalwart who is already performing mental judo on everyone. Please welcome Leah Bonnema.
Woo! Oh, I am so excited to be here. This is actually my first time on this show. And since I came up to Maine 3 weeks ago, this is my first time on Zoom. So I'm hoping I remember how to communicate with other human beings. I also put this photo behind me because I genuinely chopped those trees and stacked them in the past 3 weeks. And I thought it would be a little gratuitous to show a video of me chopping and stacking in an orange shirt. So I just wanted to lay my wares behind you. Not only am I representing the Health Nuts, but I am living the life. So Health Nuts and couch potatoes. And I believe that underneath this diabolical divide is the question, are you going to be an active participant in your life? Or are you going to sit back and watch it go by? Now, I understand the attraction of the couch potato. I spent 96 days in a 2-room apartment in Queens watching all of BritBox. I get it. I loved it. I also love potatoes. I think we're all obviously very fond of the scene in Lord of the Rings where Samwise Gamgee, arguably the quintessential character of the trilogy, says, I miss potatoes. And Gollum says, what's taters, hobbits? And Samwise says, potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. And I'm like, yes, I love potatoes. You fry them, you bake them, you can bake them twice. You can au gratin, you can scallop. I'm in Maine, we actually make a potato candy. You mix it up with confectionery sugar and coconut and you dip it in chocolate. And I'm like, yeah, delicious. But how do I feel after this potato? I feel logy. I feel bloated. I can't shit correctly. No one wants to live that way. And here is why. I would argue that we are going into the next phase of the apocalypse, right? We've seen the signs, an untrustworthy, insidious government, a pandemic, murder hornets, more pandemic, unemployment, stupid people, internet trolls, which I would argue are all couch potatoes at home. The next phase we are moving into is running. It is the only way we're going to survive. We are going to have to outrun the maskless horde zombies who are coming to cough in our faces. We're going to have to go to the woods. We're going to have to chop our own trees. We're going to have to dig our own wells. That's how we're going to survive. So I say, in closing, that being a health nut is not only the choice in this debate, but it is the only way we're going to live, is if we all grow a proverbial set of healthy nuts. Thank you very much.
Leah Bonnema, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Is that orange also issued in Maine? It's sort of.
Yeah, it's so you don't get shot when you're out in the woods.
Oh, nice. I have to ask. I've always wondered this about people that talk about the coming zombie apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you believe? Like, do you?
Do I believe in zombies?
It's fun to say that.
No, but do I believe in people not wearing masks, walking quickly behind me, coughing? Yes.
All right.
Do I believe in zombies? No.
I think.
Am I going to merge the two people? Yeah. Do I believe that possibly somebody could eat a meat that could make them crazy and they could run after me? Possibly. For this debate, yes, I do.
Absolutely.
And the only people who are going to live through it are the health nuts.
All right, Leah Bonnema, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Now, we're heading back to the couch potato side.
I gotta say something really quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to. This is not part of my time, but I gotta tell you that my friend slept with her dog naked, and then she couldn't eat red meat afterwards.
Oh wow.
That feels relevant.
Okay, so it looks like I'm not the only one who's saying weird things before my time. Okay.
Was she naked or was the dog naked?
That was my question. Is who was naked?
Who was naked?
My friend was naked. She was the naked one. And this is just related to Leah's. Did that not translate?
No, it translated perfectly, Joe. I think we all saw the segue.
Joe, did your friend
naked? Oh, is it about people going crazy?
Joe, did your friend have sex with her dog?
I don't know.
It feels like that's what you're implying.
I would never do that, especially on a recorded Zoom. I'm just saying that she's.
Joe is definitely on Team Couch Potato if you're thinking about how to vote based on interjections.
So I just need a clarification. Do you consider dog hair to be a form of clothes?
No, yeah, the dog never wears clothes. You can't put clothes on a dog because
if a dog's hair is closed, the dog has a huge opening at its crotch to let its genitals hang out.
I don't understand how my team is turning on me. I wanted to tell you this, that I was trying to add to the cultural dialogue here.
The cultural dialogue of not sleeping with your dog.
Where did Matthew go? Where's Matthew? I thought Matthew was supposed to be being the administrator, and it seems like he's gone.
Yeah, this is more fun. This is more fun. I'm very interested in this. I feel like I could learn something from your friend.
I just don't think that the debate wasn't sleeping with your dogs with clothes on versus sleeping with them naked, was it?
No, I mean, not before, but now it's all part and
Well,
parcel of the whole
She's
thing.
talking about
And-
eating bad meat. You're talking about eating bad meat, right?
Well, the meat, she couldn't eat the meat after.
Right.
Now let's just see.
That was the jump. That's where we came from. That's where I got.
I just want to see if she can roll right into her set from there. So, she currently writes and performs in many Adult Swim shows, and she's a delight, as you've already seen.
All right.
And she recently finished watching all of Netflix. So everyone, welcome, please, Joe Firestone.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really feel good. All right. So everybody says couch potato, couch potato. I actually prefer the term sofa bread. All right. So if you're talking about potatoes versus nuts, big thing that stands out to me is allergies. A lot of people are allergic to nuts. I don't know one person allergic to potatoes. Also, let's just say that a lot of people have a misconception that potatoes are still. If you ever put a potato down, it's gonna roll. That's the thing. If you could get a potato to stand still when you put it down, I'll personally give you a congratulations, because that's hard to do. It's a round food. All right. I also want to say this, that when I was in 2009, I started a Facebook group. Facebook group was called I Used to Be a Potato. 16 members, all right? And I only knew 2 of them personally, which means that 14 of them identified with potatoes so strongly that they aligned themselves on an online platform. Something to think about, okay? So number 2, I want to talk about the benefits of being a couch potato. Longer lasting shoes. Also, you get slower digestion. Let the body get to know what you're putting in it, huh? Yeah, okay. Also, it's healthier in the long run. You're not going out of the house. That's what everybody keeps telling you. Why don't you listen? Okay. Nextly, with video conferencing, the internet, and watching Hamilton while eating dinner, what a world. Less like a couch, more like a passport. Next. Everybody says, whoa, what about blood clots? What about bed sores? Let me show you this. The 5 positions of couch, switch it up. This way, 1. This way, 2. This way, 3. This way, 4. This way, 5. That's what you get. Switch it up. Yeah. Okay, next one I have for you is, this is a big, and most of this is what I'm on closing on, all right? Now, say you're thinking, I've had the worst freaking day ever. This day sucks and I'm done. You think if you're wearing gym shorts, you can reach down and find this? You can only find that in the couch. That is $2 that got smushed in the couch. You're not gonna find those in shorts. In conclusion, that.
Go Firestone!
Thank you.
Oh, Joe. So, was it all meat or just red meat?
It was. I just wish I wouldn't have. I wanted to contribute to the conversation, and I wish it was red meat. It's just red meat.
Oh, so she'll do fish.
Or
Yeah.
chicken?
Yeah, she can eat fish and chicken.
What if she slept with a fish?
Well,
What would
then
happen then?
Well, the fish would die unless she's in water.
No, then
What
the
are
mob would kill her because she sleeps with the fishes.
But does the fish have pants?
Nobody's wearing clothes. It's nude animal with nude animal. It's poetry, and I don't understand why anyone has a problem with that.
And is dog considered red meat?
Yeah, God,
Okay.
I feel like everybody's attacking me, and I honestly only said honesty.
I thought it was a
I
good
would sleep
story.
naked with dogs. I get it.
And that's the warning. Don't do it, because then you can't eat red meat anymore.
Yeah, but you don't want the mad cow anyway. So maybe you sleep with the dogs and you don't get the mad cow.
I'll tell you what, I did once eat a hamburger right after Mad Cow. and I'll tell you this, it takes 13 to 21 years to appear.
Really? I'll tell you this, when I'm not on my antidepressants, I can't eat hamburgers because I'm like, that's somebody's mommy. So load me up on the Zoloft so I can throw them back.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your Health Nuts anchor. He is the creator and host of the Risk podcast, which is at risk-show.com. And he recently participated in the state's quarantine reunion show, which will soon be for sale at davidwayne.com. He is a ray of sunshine, and he is currently leg pressing 2 men in bondage gear. Please welcome Kevin Allison.
Woo!
Oh, I'm so happy to be blocking the view of my bathroom with you tonight. Folks, about 5 years ago, I had a very illuminating psychedelic mushroom experience. For about 3 hours on that day, I had the distinct feeling that I was in the passenger seat of a car that was in the process of crashing into an oncoming vehicle. In other words, for about 180 fascinating minutes, it was as if my face was in slow-mo hitting the windshield over and over again. And I guess you could say that these days I'm experiencing a lot of, nostalgia for that memory, because since about March of 2020, once again, I've felt that same way. That's why I recommend staying mentally balanced with self-care. And the first thing I make sure to do is to get up every morning as early as I can at 7 a.m. And when I say every morning, I'm excluding around about 7 days of each week. It's a little harder to be getting up before 11 when your insomnia is always driving you to smoke weed and sniff poppers and masturbate to videos of men going to bathroom on one another at 4 a.m. But every now and then, there is a day when I wake up a little earlier than 3 minutes before my first Zoom meeting, and those are the days that I like to start with meditation. Meditation creates the space for me to sit upright on a hard, lumpy beanbag without back support and obsessively spiral through gloomy thoughts about all the things I'm terrified of right now. And it's really great because it builds muscle memory for doing that exact same thing throughout the entire rest of the day, falling down these rabbit holes of fatalistic thought spirals. It's not something that I'm able to block out of my head again until 4 a.m. when it's time for the pot and the poppers and the porn again. Now, after meditation, I recommend naming out loud 3 things you're grateful for that day. And if you write them down, you can keep track of how things change. For example, last year, I was so grateful that my book was published and that advertisers were paying for spots on my podcast. And nowadays, I find that I'm grateful for things like being able to afford a slice of pizza, which is such a coincidence because that's the same sort of thing that I was so grateful for 32 years ago when I was in college. Then there's healthy eating. I make a point to eat only the healthiest food and only 2 meals a day until I've finished that 4 a.m. stoned jerk-off session when it's time for a family-sized bag of Doritos, a pint of Ben & Jerry's, and literally whatever else is somewhere in the apartment, no matter how many years past the expiration date. And finally, there's exercise. Exercising is the perfect thing to claim that I'll do every day. And when I do it about once a month, I find that it really gets my energy up and my blood flowing. And, it really helps with my panic attacks on the meditation cushion and at all other times of the day, because I have the full force now of my cardiovascular system at the beck and call of the panic attack. Sometimes my panic attacks are so robust and full of vim and vigor that they last right straight through the 4 a.m. pot and poppers and the orgasms I'm having while watching the same 2 pornos that I've been watching for the past 124 days. So I do like to encourage folks to do like I do and stay healthy with plenty of self-care and a bong.
Yeah, Kevin Allison. Would you also recommend those porns to anyone? I mean, you're very committed to them.
You'll have to reach out to me personally. I don't know if they're for everyone.
All right, we'll keep it private for now. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're almost to the final debater. So if you have questions, do please type them into that Q&A box at the bottom of the Zoom screen. If you mouse over, you'll see the Q&A icon. Click on it, a little window will pop up, and you'll write your question in there. So that's where all the questions will be after we have Guy. And also, if you are on YouTube, feel free to write them in the comments, and someone will truck them across platforms to us on Zoom. So please do that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for your anchor for Team Couch Potatoes, he is a gentleman who curated and hosted talk show, A Game Show on True TV. And he recently published a memoir, My Life as a Goddess. He is a true showdown champion we miss, who lives in LA these days. We're grateful to have him. He doesn't wear pants on Zoom because he doesn't wear pants, period. Please welcome Guy Branum.
I am wearing shorts. They are not pants. I'd like to begin with some brief rebuttals to points that were made earlier by Team Health Nuts. First of all, Chris erroneously asserted that California's entire economy is based on personal trainers training other personal trainers. He ignored the fact that California is the world's leading producer of almonds and pistachios, literal healthy nuts. Get your shit together, Chris. Leah made 2 points that I would like to respond to. The first is that health nuts lead their life and couch potatoes watch other people's lives or watch their lives go by. I don't watch my life go by. I watch other people's lives go by and they solve crimes. When's the last time you solved a crime, Leah? Leah also said, she referenced the Lord of the Rings. How could you have been so foolish, Leah? The Lord of the Rings is the Saving Private Ryan of couch potatoes. Hobbits are a race of couch potatoes. It is only an interesting story because couch potatoes went and did a thing. No one gives a shit what happened to distance runner Legolas or powerlifter Gimli, son of powerlifter Glowing. Okay. On to my prepared remarks. The humble common potato. And I was supposed to put together a PowerPoint presentation, but I didn't put together a PowerPoint presentation because I was too busy watching British game shows on YouTube on my couch. But if I had put together a PowerPoint presentation, there would be a picture of a potato now. A starchy ball in the ground. We don't respect it, but we rely on it. We think it is low, base, empty carbs. What we ignore is its humility. Is that its release to the world created an economic boom which changed the world forever, mostly through a European population boom that led to colonialism. But no one can say that couch potatoes are responsible for colonialism because we rarely leave the house long enough to subjugate indigenous peoples. Similarly, the couch potatoes are an often disrespected part of the social environment. And now there would be a picture of me watching British game shows on my couch. But one particularly well suited to the time and crisis we find ourselves in this year. If upholstered furniture should last another 100 generations and survivors stay on for another 1,000 seasons, half in Nicaragua, half in the Philippines, let them look back at the fat people eating takeout and watching TV today and say, this was their finest hour. People love to criticize couch potatoes, primarily because we are not as sexy and fit as the party's opposite. What they ignore is a truth we have known since classical times. Hot people start wars. Now there would be a photo of Helen of Troy or a painting. Hot people get you all horned up and they make everyone create drama, and that's why no one on a CW show is happy. Couch potatoes are happy because we are satisfying our needs in simple, stable ways. Further, when we are on our couches, what are we watching? Hot people pretending to fuck and defuse bombs. And then now there would be a photo of Tom Cruise and Tandy Newton in Mission Impossible 2. The couch potato's insatiable hunger for entertainment and stuff to whack it to pays for the lives of health nuts. Would you health nuts be able to pay for all of your chicken breasts and green juices where if you were the entire population? No, you'd have to work real sad jobs that pay you no money. As it is, couch potatoes fund the lives of health nuts by giving you jobs like personal trainer, action star, and hot guy on YouTube who eats 1,000 calories in a day but is still hot. And as I was saying that, you would have had pop up a personal trainer and then Chris Hemsworth, and then this one guy on YouTube whose name is Will Tennyson, who in one day ate 10,000 calories and burned 10,000 calories. And I would have done that slide just so I would spend some time looking at photos of him shirtless because he's hot. And I make ad revenue for him and he uses that money to stay hot. And who is showing those health nuts action stars how to defuse that bomb? Not health nuts. All they know about is how to do cardio to maximize fat burn by doing it before you eat. No, no, no. The technical consultants on all films are fat people who sit in front of computers and eat chips and learn. Which leads me to my next point. We like to present couch potatoes as people who contribute nothing, when in fact, many of history's greatest achievers were couch potatoes. Jane Austen. What did Jane Austen do? One of literature's greatest geniuses. She earned eternal fame by sitting in a drawing room, judging other people and scribbling notes about them on small pieces of paper. What is she, if not a satay potato? Queen Victoria saw the greatest imperial expansion in history, enslaving millions in a global phallocracy that never saw the sunset during a period of mourning for her dead husband, where she basically never left the cushioned seating of Osborne House on the Isle of Wight. She was a Chesterfield potato. George Washington Carver revolutionized the prospects of Southern small farmers by observing, reading, and writing about the plants in his laboratory garden. He didn't go out and build a farm for that stuff himself to make a bunch of money. No, he just learned about peanuts, soybeans, and sweet potatoes and let other people benefit from his learning. He was, if anything, a potato. It's a terrible joke. It was a long walk for it. I hosted a talk show, a TV show that happens entirely on a couch, and it was easier to make. It made me more money than any other goddamn show I've worked on because everyone got to do it while they were sitting and drinking and happy. And while we may achieve great things, one of the couch potato's greatest impacts is how much we don't impact other people's lives. Health nuts need to do a lot of things, like they have to go get chicken breasts and brown rice for their macros. Like they have to get swimwear and activewear to show off their sweet buds. And Chris, that's a point. We're not fucking using your clothes because your clothes have to fit to show off your sweet traps. We're just looking for something that will squeeze around us, not the same athleisure. And they have to own Honda Elements, gas guzzling Honda Elements, so they can drive from the beach to the slope so that they can surf and ski in a single day and just hose the mud and sand out of their sweet Honda Element. Then there would be a photo of a sweet Honda Element. I'm almost done, don't worry. Couch potatoes need only stretchy shorts, a TV, and some takeout, and we are fine. The carbon footprint of the health nut is making this planet, which makes your nuts less healthy. Plus, health nuts are constantly in your way, jogging or riding a recumbent bike in the same lane as your car, or yelling at innocent bird watchers who are the couch potatoes of nature. Couch potatoes never affect your life unless their TV is too loud and they're watching Dunkirk, and then you just hit the ceiling with your broom and we turn it down. In conclusion, 545,000 people are dead of COVID worldwide, and it is because of health nuts. Oh, they had to go skiing in Italy. They had to go party on the 4th of July at Fire Island. Active people who go out think they are being healthy, but at this point in time, all they are being is nuts. We are in a global health crisis, and the one thing we know you can do to protect yourself and others is stay home and watch all of Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix, and then buy the Korra Chronicles, which is not as good, but still good. Getting Indian takeout is juggling local businesses in your hometown. In this historic moment, we need two things: sedentary consumption and couch potatoes. This is our moment to save the world. And when they make a movie about our proud sacrifice, which they will cast hot health nuts to play us. but we will be the people at home watching. It's supposed to land on us, but the people at home watching will be us. That would have been more climactic.
That's really good. Wow, that is really good.
That was
Oh, wow,
awesome.
Guy. And your commitment to narrating your unseen PowerPoint was unparalleled. I mean, truly, truly great.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, so now that you've heard both sides, you've heard a lot of things said and done. Not heard things done, except for the whole dog thing. So we're gonna go to the Q&As now. So we've got some questions here. You can still submit if you like. One that has been asked in a couple of different paces. They really want to know. This is for, I think, the couch potato side, though I guess anyone could answer. They really want to know. It's a semantic question. What's the difference between a couch and a sofa?
I believe that they are multiple words for the same thing. The English language is notoriously rich with a much larger vocabulary than other nations because we were constantly being conquered by foreign powers who brought us new languages. That conquest never performed by couch potatoes.
They are the same thing. They are the same thing, but I will say, I think that if you're lower middle class to low class, you say couch. But if you're middle class to upper middle, you go with sofa. And then rich people say things like the divan or the chaise.
Mm-hmm. And it's less fun to say sofa potato, I presume. All right, health nuts. What do you do if you're allergic to nuts, literally?
Well, you don't sleep with a naked dog.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Well, I think that, I mean, I'll say the obvious answer here, which is you wouldn't eat nuts. That would be my first piece of advice. And while we're on health questions, I would just love if anyone is a doctor out in the audience, if you could just fact check. Joe said that the incubation period for mad cow disease is 13 to 21 years. So I just love if anyone could confirm that that is in fact accurate.
Hey, Chris, I got a question for you. You're not going to eat nuts. Where are you going to get those omega-6s?
I truly did not know that omegas went that high.
I also want to just let Chris know we're not actually answering the questions yet. Matthew's just listing them off. Matthew's just listing the questions, and then we're going to answer them.
No.
Chris.
I just want to add that omega-6s, that's a character on Captain Marvel, which is a movie I watched from my couch.
Oh my God, I see it. All right, this question is from YouTube. Whose efforts are more valiant? A couch potato trying to fit in with their health nut friends, or a health nut trying to fit in with their couch potato friends?
Well, when does a health nut ever try to fit in with the couch potatoes? A health nut sits there kind of humble bragging and sort of, carefully sliding into the conversation that they're now doing paleo or whatever, the keto or something.
I would argue that health nuts, couch potatoing is the most virulent form of couch potatoing. It's watching sports. I mean, what's grosser than a bunch of dudes sitting around like judging people who are better at them than things? Haven't read the Silmarillion. I can judge people. I've read the Silmarillion.
All right, how about this? This is one specifically for Kevin. Kevin, have you ever meditated on shrooms?
I have attempted that before. That very shroom experience that I was talking about, I thought maybe I will stop feeling like I'm continuously being thrown into a windshield if I just concentrate on my breathing. And what I found was that I would inhale and then could not help but scream with every exhalation. So yeah, that was my very special sort of meditation on that day.
Now, health nuts, there's a question about uniform. Like, what's the best kind of uniform to wear when you're running? There's lots of options here: gym shorts, yoga pants, tidy whities. As I presume all of you are marathoners, how do you suit up?
I think very important, you have a breathable material. You know, especially if you have a vagina, it has to breathe when you're sweating. I just like to come on to any panel and argue for a breathable cotton near a vagina.
Counterpoint, Leah, and I don't want to interrupt. It is actually more important to have a breathable material if you have testicles.
I'm going to argue
especially
that they're
large
equally
ones.
important.
Well,
Because a testicle will just get kind of a cheesy smell. A vagina will heat up and switch up a whole pH. You have to call in a pool boy and bring in outside help. You know what I mean?
Now you have the topic for the next Uptown Showdown. This is incredible.
yeah.
This is what Will Tennyson wears to work out in.
Oh, I was hoping you could give us the spelling on his name so I could get some of that for later.
Why does his face look like he's the Joker?
Oh.
I can't believe you looked at his face. I didn't even know he had a head, but I remember
I
the
fall in love with faces. I don't know.
Jared, he is Canadian, so he does not have enough genetic diversity.
Ah. That'll
right.
do it.
So this came, I think, from YouTube. Is a health nut only exercise based? I guess they felt maybe there wasn't enough dietary concern talked about. Maybe that was their underlying idea. But is the health nut only just about exercise? They want to know more about your lifestyle, I think.
I meant to bring up, I just got excited talking about Lord of the Rings, and I forgot this whole section about, you know, when you want to run to the woods, you're going to be eating gorp, good old fashioned raisins and peanuts, fuel food. I was going to do a whole thing on fuel food. Once I bring up Samwise, I'm thrown off.
Yeah.
I would assert that ladies who drink juices and potions can be health nuts without there being exercise involved. But for a dude, there either has to be getting strong exercise or hippie douchebag exercise of some sort. So if he has facial hair, he can go hiking. But if he has no facial hair, he has to work out at a gymnasium or a CrossFit studio.
Yeah, I think I would also lump in anyone who's like drinking meal replacement smoothies and microdosing LSD. I would say that they're like a very specific species of health nut.
That's actually me.
Yeah.
Chris, what if they own like 47% of a tech company? And
Yes.
all they're doing is drinking the soylents and microdosing, but they're still just playing like Fortnite at home for 13 hours a day.
Oh yeah, see, there's my question. I think it switches into couch potato if they're not doing it for work efficiency. If they're just doing it and then playing
Right.
and having leisure time, they're a couch potato. That's the line for me. But if
They
they're
have to
doing
have a
it
standing
to maximize
desk.
output, exactly.
Yeah, standing desk.
An inflated exercise ball. As
Also,
opposed
I
to
think they count how much water they drink. This is important. I should have brought hydration.
Yes.
Why don't they have high couches?
This is a great question.
A standing couch.
Yeah. Like you would have a step ladder to get up into the couch.
Yeah. It sounds like what you're describing is a padded wall.
Just
no, but
the
you'd be
armrest.
standing and you would just sort of go back right into it. You wouldn't sit all the way down. It would be nice. Then your feet would dangle. You'd feel like you're a kid again. I like it.
Tall couches.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good idea.
Only the tallest.
All right. Couch potatoes, this one's for you. How do you respond to the claim that most accidents occur at home?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What kind of accidents?
People falling in the shower because they
Yes.
sat down for too long. They're
Well,
losing it.
Those things happen in the kitchen where you fuckers are doing your meal prep, and the shower where you're washing off your sweat and workout.
Yeah.
These accidents do not happen on the couch, one of the cushioniest and safest places in the home. I would say, Jill, one of the reasons we don't have high couches is because if you roll off of a couch, you're fine. Like, it is the safest place to be in the home.
And how about the accidents that happen when you're exercising? Lots of marathon runners shit their pants.
I've seen several romantic comedies where someone gets distracted and then slips on a treadmill and then goes back.
Yeah.
That happens when people are working out.
Yeah.
I do want to just say that for the tall couches, we could put some sort of like crib side on them so that we would solve the rolling problem.
Oh.
Sure.
I also want to add on the marathon running, shitting your pants. I one could make an argument that it's really just great to move the toxins through. And if you're running while it happens, no bigs. People like to have a good bowel movement.
Sometimes it happens too quick though, and you wonder, does your body have enough time to absorb the nutrients?
Yeah. And it's hard to win the marathon with that extra weight kind of.
No, I think it falls right out of your shorts.
Oh, that's good.
That's why
if
you're
we're
wearing
talking about where to
breathable
have an
shorts.
accident,
Breathable shorts.
I'll say,
You know
if
what? I
finish
take
a
it back.
marathon-
Shitting your pants is just a good thing. I don't think there's any other way to look at it except that it's a positive. It's a net positive.
I just guarantee you, Jared, if you shit your pants when you run a marathon, 3
Yeah.
years later, people say, congratulations on running a marathon. But if you shit your pants while sitting on the couch, 3 years later, people will never forget what you did on that couch.
Yeah.
I
Such
have
a great
question.
point.
Is that how the girl in Britney Runs a Marathon lost the weight? Was the shitting?
I just kind of realized I think
I didn't
sofas
get
have arms.
I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah.
If you shit your pants on the standing couch, you're treated like a marathon runner, right? Because it falls right out of your shorts.
I have a problem. Like, I thought at least if you were doing a marathon, you ran to the side of the road or like into the bushes.
No, it just comes while you're running.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do
These
think
people aren't losing time to take a shit. They want to win.
And there's
do
nipple
just-
bleeding.
There's
I
nipple
want to be
bleeding.
the obvious and say it has become abundantly clear that no one on this panel has ever run a marathon.
There.
True. But
I
I
think what would also fall off of a tall couch is a potato because they roll.
Okay. Yeah, but also a lot of people put potatoes on plates.
It's a good point.
Boy.
so true.
Can't argue it.
I think we have answered so many more questions than were asked. Like I've learned a lot for myself, and I now know how to run a marathon. I now know what to prepare for. So I'm very excited about that. So audience, thank you so much for the questions. We appreciate it. Now what we're gonna do is you're gonna vote again. So YouTubers, go ahead and put it in the comments. Anyone who's in the Zoom room, the poll should pop up again now. So get ready to vote for who did you think were the winners? Was it Team Health Nuts or Team Couch Potatoes? Yeah, you only get one click. I don't even know if you can change your vote. I don't know if you can change your vote, but oh mercy me. It's oh my God, it's happening, but it is, I hate to say it, it's looking a little bit like what Chris Duffy predicted.
Oh, Duffy.
Whoa.
And somehow,
Show hasn't started yet.
somehow, if you jump the gun, if you come out, you do your presentation and you say, we're going to lose before anything happens. I don't know if that has some sort of an effect.
Well, what if you say that before the debate itself has started?
I would say I did a textbook debate, just classic, by the numbers, step-by-step victory.
All right, well, we got a minute because the YouTubers are, the lag is a little bit there. So if they have some sort of crazy, massive number of, oh no, in fact, I've received all the results. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to lean back for the rest of the pandemic and do nothing. Your winner, Team Couch Potato!
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. We really
Wow.
went down.
They really did it. And you won on YouTube too. So, and don't forget, so history is written by the victors. So Team Couch Potato, any final words to leave the audience with? Nope.
I mean, I don't feel like it. I'm kind of like tired. So.
Yeah, right? I think that is perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. We want to thank all of our comics, Chris Duffy, Jared Logan.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great to be here. I really appreciate it. You guys are great. And yeah, you can find me online.
Thank you, Chris Duffy, Jared Logan, Leah Bonnema, Joe Firestone, Kevin Allison, and Guy Branum. Thanks to all of you for being here. We know it is kind of unpleasant at present, so we hope you forgot things for a moment. Check in with us. Uptown Showdown will be back in September. We're on Facebook, or check us out at Symphony Space on Instagram and Twitter. We'll be back then. All right. Thank you all and good night.